Jessica. I'm so happy to have you here. Um, Thank you for saying yes to having this conversation. Um, you and I have connected so much over this past year, really.
We
Um,
have.
and I wanted your voice in this series to just talk about
Thank
joy,
you.
bring attention to it. And the first question I'm putting out there to everyone, so to you as well, is like when you think about the word joy, just the concept of joy, how do you define it? What does it mean to you?
To me, I don't define it as a feeling
Mhm.
because feelings come and go, right? They come and they go. We can't necessarily rely on them to be there. I think of joy as a sustainable disposition that comes from inside.
Mm,
And happiness is a feeling dependent on circumstances, but joy is not dependent on circumstances. And I think joy comes through noticing, uh, practicing mindfulness, being present, uh, seeing your life with a bent of gratitude.
mhm.
Um, I think it's a byproduct of practicing gratitude or mindfulness or staying in the present.
Yeah, yeah. I love that, and it is so tied to gratitude. I feel like being in the practice of gratitude, not just, "Oh, I'm thankful for this," or "I'm thankful for that," but really, like you said, dropping in and being mindful of almost like it fills you with a different energy when you're actually practicing, "Oh my gosh, I am so grateful right now for this." And letting yourself load up on what that feeling feels like. Not that it's a feeling,
Mhm.
but that it's
Mhm.
energy. It's a
Mhm. Mhm.
tangible thing.
It is. It really is. And I think it protects you being mindful, staying in the present, which you do that if you're practicing gratitude. It keeps you from ruminating about the past, which they, say, well, that lands you in depression, or worrying about the future, which translates to anxiety. And so if you just think about, oh, I get to sit here and have this conversation with Laura, who I love, adore, and admire. And I get to look at her and I get to be with her, and she's a breath of fresh air and a hug to me this morning. There's no room for me to be sour or bitter because
Yeah,
I'm just focusing on the here and now. I'm not saying I'm a pro at it. I'm learning.
as we
I'm
all
learning.
as
Yeah.
we yeah, yeah, and I think I love that you said that, that I'm learning. I know I'm not a pro at it, um, as none of us are, and I don't think we ever really I think joy is something that we have to choose and then work to build on.
Mhm.
Like you said, it's an internal, it's an activation of something internal.
Mhm.
Most of us never were really taught joy in that way,
Not at all.
right?
Not
I
at
think it,
all.
it became associated with, I just need to be happy. And if I'm not happy, there's something wrong with me,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Which leads us down the path of shame. And then
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's kind of the next leading to the next question is what do you feel like for yourself is what blocks you from joy the most?
I think I think just in general, having a victim attitude or victim mentality versus really realizing you own your life. That, yes, not that we can control the circumstances that happen to us, but we can control what we do with those circumstances. We can choose our attitude, we can choose our words, we can choose how we spend our time in regards to that tough, challenging circumstance, whatever it is. I think uh, being angry and bitter and resentful will block you because often we get to that place because we're comparing
Mhm.
or we're feeling really, really sorry about ourselves. And I'm not saying it's okay to have a pity party once in a while, but just don't have a slumber party there. Don't get stuck
Mhm.
because it only hurts you. It's taking strength and positive energy away from you when that's what you need to survive in chronic hardship. Like in my story, having a special needs child, having the day to day with Ryan, I need to be the best me. And so I can't really afford to get stuck in bitterness and resentment.
Yeah. So for you, when you do have a pity party day, because we all do, we all
Yeah.
have days where we're like, why is this happening to me? What did I do wrong? We've all had those thoughts sneak in. You know,
Hmm.
sometimes a lot, sometimes not so much. Sometimes we've worked along a lot of years on those thoughts to really rewire them. Um,
Hmm.
do you feel like you have a tool or a process that you yourself use to get from the pity party to the victim, like, why is this happening to me? Do you
Hmm.
stop yourself and have something that you do to kind of shift that? Or do you let yourself feel for a certain amount of time and then call a friend? Or, what is your.
Hmm. I think I just give myself that time, whether it's a day or two. I think writing cathartically, just sort of stream of consciousness, is really, really helpful because when you're writing raw and then you go back and read it, you can see how dramatic you're feeling,
Mhm,
and almost it helps you reset a little bit. I think calling a friend to just vent honestly, truthfully how you're feeling. It's not fair. I've had enough heartache. You know, can you just sit with me in this right now? I'm just feeling sorry for myself right now and I just need to vent. And having someone who's loving and supportive who can just validate you
mhm.
and help you not stay stuck there is really critical. And I think just to keep practicing gratitude, writing in a journal every single day what you're grateful for. And even you can write why. I am grateful for this hot cup of coffee because,
Yeah.
because I think when we add the because or the why behind why we're grateful, it helps to cement it a little bit more.
Mhm.
A mentor of mine said that, and I loved that.
Yeah.
So sometimes I go through phases where I'm just writing the things that I'm grateful for, and sometimes I write what I'm grateful for and why.
Yeah. I love that so much. It really does bring it home. And it can be the smallest thing, and I think that that's important to bring forward because I know for me, having child 2 that has special needs, that was one of my processes as well, is I would take the tiniest thing, like having a hot sip of tea, and
Mhm.
slowly be in that. Like,
Mhm.
really marinate in, "Wow, this is so good. This is so
Mhm.
warm. I love how this, it just starts my day." And I really think it's a slowing down and
Mhm.
intentionality that brings us back into that presence and joy.
Mhm.
That joy can come from there. I
Mhm.
call it
I agree.
rejoicing.
I like
Rejoicing,
it.
like
Yeah.
rejoicing, like we
Yeah.
sing, but like we
Yeah.
really just fill up with that. Um,
Mhm.
and I happen to know that part of what you've been called to do in your journey is create this incredible resource, We Are Brave Together nonprofit for moms of special needs children. So I happen to know that one pathway to joy is being of service. And
Mhm.
that's kind of where I started as well when I first started my healing path. Um, can you share a little bit more about how that brings you joy, being of
Mhm.
service, and then how what you do in that has you've seen ignite joy in these moms?
Thank you. I'd love to. So, as you know all about We Are Brave, but if anyone's listening and they've never heard about We Are Brave, we're a nonprofit based in Southern California, but we have an international membership of moms who have children any age with any diagnosis, disability, or challenge, including mental health, including educational challenges, including no diagnosis, but clearly your child has extra or special or unique needs. You are welcome to be a part of the community. And we launched with the intent, our mission is to combat the isolation and compassion fatigue that moms face. And we do that by offering support groups, educational workshops, and retreats, virtual or in person. We're obviously trying to get back to everything being in person, and we'll just roll with the times. But, you know, ever since we began 4 years ago, I've received so much gratitude from moms. I've received so many messages and text messages and Facebook messages and Instagram messages and emails saying, "Thank you so much for creating this space for me, a place where I belong and a place where I feel seen and heard and validated." And when I see moms get joy from being at a retreat and being able to connect with other moms, or they seek out a resource in our Facebook group and they got what they needed and they're so happy because of the other mom's input, it fills my cup, it fills my soul. And it's so nice to have a place to take my focus and my heart and my gifts outside of family life, because family life can be a lot, and it has been a lot for us in the last year, 17 months. It's
Yeah.
been a lot. And so serving and making sense out of the pain that I've been through in this altered motherhood journey, it feels amazing, and it does bring sustaining joy for sure.
Two things that I am so the power that just bringing these women together, like you said, and creating a safe space for them to belong. Like they feel like I belong here. I'm seen here. And that's how I kind of translate. I feel seen here.
Mhm.
I feel heard. Um, and just the joy is indescribable of just that alone, being in a circle of women who you can say anything to and not have to pretend or have a mask
Mhm.
on, or that kind of connection is just probably one of the greatest pathways to joy. And I think that's
Yeah.
why we share that in our hearts, to create those spaces for women. um, Also, I think too, what occurred to me when you were speaking is just bringing women into a space away from family life can remind them of their gifts. Like they are not just one thing, they are
Mhm.
not just one role, although it can feel that way because it's
Mhm.
so what's required of you in that role is so much. But I think
Mhm.
too, what you're giving them is a space to kind of remember themselves again, and
Yes.
what lights them up and what they are, even what they're meant to do, as far as maybe there's an idea or a piece of themselves that needs to be expressed in whatever way that is.
Mhm.
So I
Yes.
think those two pieces, like being able to be away and fill your cup, express in the way that you need to, and be seen and heard,
Mhm.
all pathways to joy.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
And
I
then you
agree.
experiencing the overflow of that confirmation. Yes, I'm in my gifts. I'm doing
Yes.
this is
Yes.
transmuting the pain and what you've yourself gone through,
Mhm.
and using it
Mhm.
good is so it is. It's so well, there's not much better.
Right. There's not much better. It's rewarding, and I think I always sort of had my hands open to the universe, to God, just where am I going with this? Like this story with Ryan has to be not for naught. It's not in vain. We're not just going through this just to go through it. And then I found my voice in writing about it and speaking about it. And just still like, where am I going with this? Because I have to make sense of this.
Yeah.
And I'm a doer. Like I want to act, and I want to serve, and I want to encourage. And I know when I received validation how important that was for me to feel normal, like what I was going through, the cyclical grief, the just knowing that my journey was so different from somebody who had very healthy, normal, neurotypical children, and feeling the weight of that difference. But then that weight, I feel like, gets lighter as you're with other people who share that, because there's a common bond and a thread and an understanding, even though our stories could be vastly different, our children's diagnoses could be vastly different, there's still a lightness when we come together, it's the power of gathering.
Yeah, the power of gathering, absolutely. And I can't wait to gather with your group in September
I
and be
know.
there with you.
I can't wait.
I just coming back out to California. First of all, I'm so excited. It's been for me, it's been almost 2 years since I've been back home. In a way, that was my home for 22
Yes.
years.
Yes.
Just to be with this group of women is just such a gift. So um, that brings me to one more thing. When you're in your joy, what becomes possible that wasn't possible before?
That's a great question. I think recognizing that the joy came from possibility then perpetuates my ability to see possibility and
Mm,
more dreams come true.
beautiful. Absolutely. I love how you just said that. I mean, yes. When I'm in possibility, it begets possibility, which then opens me up to even more possibility. Like,
Mhm.
what else is possible from this?
Mhm. Mhm. I don't know
Wow.
if I've ever said that. I need to write that down and
Yes,
think
you
about that a little
we
bit
need to
more.
we need the good thing this is recorded because you
Oh, yes.
that drops in for me so powerfully. And it's
Mm.
absolutely, it's almost like your whole perspective opens.
Mhm. And that's what I want for moms too, is I want them to see possibility. It doesn't mean that every mom has to go out there and start a nonprofit or do something big or on a big scale, but just to see possibility out of the pain
Yeah,
that could lead to joy.
absolutely. Yeah, I love that so much. Oh man. Okay, so we did talk a little bit about your retreat. Do you want to share a little bit more about your retreat coming up or anything else you have coming?
Sure. Sure. Well, we do have a few spots left. This is our Canyon Lake retreat, September 17th through the 19th. It's northeast of Los Angeles, the area. It's kind of near Temecula, Murrieta, Lake Elsinore for anyone to kind of orient them. Uh, and we have a beautiful home that will be having the retreat uh, time together. And we also have a hotel rented nearby for the overflow so that everyone can have a bed. And you will be our wonderful speaker. And we try to have a balance of group time and downtime so that you can just rest, relax, have a drink by the pool if there's a pool or what have you, just
Yeah.
take a nap, go for a walk, just have just relaxing time with other moms there. There will be about 30 of us total, including all the helpers and our home hostess and you. And we charge $200, and that covers housing, food, snacks, speaker sessions, and a goodie bag. And so if
Is
you're
this for
interested,
is this for anyone from anywhere, or is it California moms? Because I have a lot of
it's
California moms on my in my
yeah, anywhere. I mean, we have one mom flying in, I believe, from Ohio,
okay.
even, but I think the rest are from Southern California. But we've had moms from all over fly in for our retreats in California.
Mhm.
And when we did one in Florida, we had people who flew in from all over for that as well. So anybody is welcome. You just need to be a special needs mom.
Yeah, beautiful. And then you also have a monthly support group that you do via Zoom. Is that right?
We do. So we call it our all member Zoom. So we call that all member because we now have all the satellite support group Zooms are in person. So just to distinguish it, it's for anyone who's in We Are Brave, and that's once a month, the last Tuesday of the month, and it's led by a lovely life coach, Lori Magulak, and then we have just all the different satellite support groups in different spots as well. We are looking for a new leader for Tennessee, so I'll put that plug in there since you're in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Be great to find someone to rise up and do that for us.
Yes, absolutely. And maybe a retreat will be coming to Tennessee at some point.
Yes, as I think wherever we have a strong support group, we could justify, assuming the funds are there,
Mhm.
doing a retreat there. So I'm hoping in 2022 we'll get to do a couple retreats in places where we have support groups like Florida or Arizona or Utah. And, as other groups get stronger and bigger, then we
Yeah.
could hopefully do more.
Awesome. Good, good. Well, the last thing is if you could leave today imparting a wish or a prayer for the moms or the women just listening to this, what would you want to share with them?
That even when circumstances are really, really tough, and Lori, my circumstances, it's been really, really like one of the hardest years of my life this last year, and joy is still possible. And so it's okay to be aching and grieving about what's going on in life, but it's still possible to hold joy at the same time. It's not one or the other,
The both and.
both and.
We can hold them both.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
so much. Love you so much, Jessica.
Oh,
Thank
love
you for
you.
what you do and just who you are, really. Thank you for who you
Oh,
are in this world. And
thank you.
I'm honored to know you and be a friend. And yeah, just to really appreciate you coming on here and sharing
Thank
this with everyone.
you.
'Cause I think it's important to share. Joy is possible. We can hold it alongside the hard, and we're all holding a lot of hard right now.
We are. We are. Well, I love you, Laura, and I thank you so much for what you're doing and how you pour yourself into women. And thank you. I know your heart. I know you want healing and possibility and joy and dreams for women. And so thank you.
Thank you. Mwah.
Mm.